Hey folks, and welcome back to Pattaya. That's right, I've had the new bike now for 1,000 kilometers. I bought it 1,000 kilometers ago and did an episode that over 100,000 people watched. So I thought maybe it's time for an update, a little bit of a long-term update and my impressions. And I am liking the bike, tell you right up front, but all the things I've learned along the way and the things I've done to it. But I was just getting ready to do all that, and then this happened. Well, this is a fine howdy-do dilemma, and I'm trucking right down this road, 60, 70 kilometers an hour. The bike just shuts off. The gauges and all are still going, just lost ignition. It just, in the middle of just cruising down the road, it just cut off. Very peculiar that. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna let it cool down and see if it starts. It might have gotten a little hot because I was riding around the little lake out here, but I do stuff like that all the time. It's never gotten hot or anything. Also, I just got gas. Don't think that has anything to do with it. Full tank of gas. I'm probably 16 kilometers from home. And it's hot. So luckily, my friend Andy's just, I don't know, 5 or so kilometers down the road, and he sent the truck out for me. Because Honda, I called Honda, and they kept saying tomorrow. They can't do anything till tomorrow. Today is a Sunday. It's just strange, it just stops. Lights work, everything. Just getting ready for the 1,000 kilometer service. I was going to take it in this week. Guess it'll go a little early. So that's right, new bike on the side of the road, wouldn't start. It just shut off. Now, the next day I went to Honda, and these guys were great. They came with me out to where I had the bike overnight, and they diagnosed it in about 2 minutes. They found a wire that had been damaged, and they said the wire was damaged because I replaced the throttle, and the new throttle had metal lobes on it, and the metal lobes cut through the wire. Now, I'm just taking their word for it. Don't know that that's the case or not, but it sounded legit, and they replaced that wire, or fixed the wire, and it started right back up. So really, maybe not Honda's fault, and I think they were Johnny on the spot to fix it. And even though they claimed that the fault was of an aftermarket accessory, they didn't bat an eye. They just fixed it and continued to march. So one of these guys even rode the bike back to town for me, and I said, well, you know what, go ahead, and while it's there at your dealership, go ahead and do the 1,000 kilometer service. So we'll do that. Okay, so here's what we got for 1,000 kilometer service. 2 containers of oil, I guess that's 2 liters of oil. That came out to 820 baht. A filter, that's 110 baht. And something for 40 baht, I think it's like a washer or a little gasket or something. Anyway, that's only a little over $1. And then 100 baht, or about $3 for the actual labor. So altogether, we're at 1,070 baht, about 34, right around $35 US for the initial first service. That's what they require by the service manual, and that's not the normal interval. That's just the first service. So I guess to get everything broken in and all that. So let me know how much it costs where you live. That's what it costs here, and I can't argue with the service. I came in here this morning. 2 guys got on a motorcycle, drove almost 10 miles way out to where my bike had broken down, fixed it, and then one of them rode it back here. Then I got the service done. It's like almost like they drop what they're doing just to help you. So I don't think you get that everywhere. But anyway, tell me your experience. So that's it. We'll go over some other features and other impressions of the bike once I leave here. So it runs great after the service. I just had it up to 90 very quickly and no problems. So there's 2 questions everybody asks when they meet me around town. I run into people. People always say hello. They say, how do you like the new bike, or how do you like the new condo? So 2 questions that always come up. So today we'll talk about how I like the new bike. And I guess long story short, would I buy it again? Absolutely, positively. I like it as much today as I did when I bought it. I think it's brilliant for around town. It soaks up the bumps. It's got great power. Very lightweight, very nimble. Little bit big for your small Thai scooters parking places that are everywhere, but that's a thing here. Scooters have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and the parking spaces have stayed the same size. So any kind of bigger than a Honda Wave right now is a little bit challenged in a parking space, but you have to get by. I mean, my touring bike needs basically two scooter slots. That's just the way it is, unless you find a place that has big bike parking, which some of the stores have anyway. 1,000 kilometers in Pattaya. That's basically what it's been. I'll show you the odometer. I've taken it out of Pattaya maybe once. Very little. If I go out of Pattaya, usually I take the touring bike. This one's basically just seen duty. Central Pattaya, yeah, going over to Jomtien, riding around, running errands, that kind of stuff. I've had a lot of modifications done to it. Some of those, a lot of those, to kind of make it even more friendly for around town. The tires. The tires, for one. A lot of people have asked me what tires. I've had people request pictures of the tires so they could get the same ones. They're not the tires I wanted. The tires I wanted were Pirelli MT90 Scorpions. I couldn't get them. I ordered them, but the order was never fulfilled and the money was refunded or returned. It was night and day difference just the minute I pulled away with the new tires on. So any kind of, I guess, 80-20 type ratio, 80% on-road, 20% off-road trail type tire, I think you're going to be okay with. The ones I have, I believe, are Japanese. They're called Trail Winners. It's the same size it came with the bike, didn't change the sizes. One of the other big modifications, not a big modification, but I think a necessary modification, was the rear appendage or fender. It's very prone to vibration. I'll show you what I mean. You can hear and feel the license plate back there flapping around. It's not good over bumps, and I actually tore 2 license plates. What I mean by that is they were bolted onto the factory or stock bolts, and the metal actually tore away from the bolt. That arm, it's like an aluminum alloy or something. It's very strong. I don't feel or hear anything. It's a very solid type feel and a really nice strong bracket for your plate. So plus I think it looks better. It's not a looks thing, it's 100% a functional thing. The throttle tamer I put on there, now I've messaged the supplier, the manufacturer, I guess I should say, of that, and told him about what happened with the wire. So that may just be a one-off thing, or I think it could easily be avoided on the installation, just making sure that the wire is totally tucked in there right and out of the way of the lobes. So, but that's another thing. I noticed a difference right away with that. Yeah, as soon as I pulled away with that, the throttle wasn't as jumpy. It's smoother. And the traffic, and even though there's very few tourists here, although there's more and more tourists coming every day. I see every day new faces. The ASQs are full for people visiting here. I don't know where they're coming from. They're coming from all different places. There's no theme to it, but suffice it to say there are more people here every day. And the traffic, I'll show you, there's plenty of traffic. So especially you go out in the afternoon, there's traffic, and that throttle tamer really helps in the traffic. It's just a little bit too jumpy without it. I guess off-road it doesn't matter, the jumpier the better maybe, but in traffic it's nice to have a little bit more control and smoothness and worry a little bit less about the clutch. So what else? The seat is a hard seat. I get about a half hour, 30 minutes before I get a little discomfort. It's fine for short, and I think that's probably what most people are going to use this bike for if they're using it on road. If you're off-road, you're going to be standing a lot of time anyway. But if you're commuting or using it around town like I am for kind of transportation, probably a half hour, 35 minutes is all you're going to be on it anyway, more than likely. Rearward vision in the mirrors, very good rearward vision, no problem adjusting the mirrors. The gauges are easy to see, the speedometer. Tach, a little hard to read the numbers on the tach for me, but you kind of know where they are, and there's a shift light. I think the shift light comes on too early. I don't know. I'm not sure. just general riding around town gear wise, you can easily, most of the time, very rarely will use first gear. That wasn't the case on the CRF300. It seemed like the first gear was kind of necessary. The second gear was either a little too tall or there wasn't enough torque to comfortably take off. And now you can actually probably take off in third gear as easy as a CRF300 in second gear. And third gear goes up to almost 100 kilometers an hour. Just shy of 100 kilometers an hour. In fact, you might be able to eke it out if you weigh a little bit less than I do. I think 85, 90. 85 or 90 is a good cruising speed for this bike. And that's kind of where it wants to hover in top gear anyway. And the speed limit here is 90. And I think the bike will cruise pretty comfortably at 90. It's buzzy though. You're going to get a lot of vibration. The stock foot pegs don't have rubber in them. The ones in the Rally do. So I'm wondering if you can get the rubber inserts that go in the Rally and put them in this, considering if you're going to be doing more touring and city riding than off-road. I think that's why they're excluded from this. You really don't want it for off-road, but the Rally's sold as more of an adventure bike because it has little features like that, the fairing and all that. So I would like the rubber bits. Grips, you're going to get some vibration in the grips. It's buzzy, not gonna lie, it's buzzy. And as far as the exhaust, I don't think you need anything louder. It's pretty loud as it is. It's got a small tank. I think the most I've ever put in it was $4 worth of gas, 120 baht. That's about I don't know, 4 liters. I get the 91. I don't think the 95 is needed. I've run the 91. It seems like it runs fine on 91. So put in what you want. I'm putting in 91. And if you're watching this in the US or Canada, that might be the highest you have anyway. I just been running the 91. It seems fine. I used 95 on the first 2 tanks, I think. The 91 seems like it's peppier. I don't know. I think the fuel cap was a big improvement. I'll show you how the fuel cap works. It's almost too simple. Put the key in, turn it, put your gas in, and then when you put the cap back on, just press it on and pull the key out. There's no turning it or anything to put it back on. It's actually very simple. I don't know, I mean, if I was talking to the engineers at Honda, other than that back fender appendage, whatever they call it, I think they did a good job. I think it's a home run. The engine's brilliant. I don't know, they got a 450 here now. They have a CRF 450 here now. It's over twice as much money. This bike, 148,000 baht, which is right around 5,000 US. And the CRF 450, 300 and I believe 30,000. So you're looking at like at 11,000 US dollars for that bike here. But maybe you guys can tell me why a CRF 450 is worth more than twice as much as the 300, because I can't figure it out. So I guess the next question is this worth upgrading from the CRF 250? I think if you have an older CRF 250 and you're looking to get out of it anyway, yes. If you just got one last year or something, I would say no. It's still a pretty capable bike. It's not going to be that much of a difference to upgrade, I don't think. But if you're ready for a new one, or you're thinking about it anyway, I think it is a good upgrade, and it probably isn't a whole lot more money than what you paid for the 250 to begin with. So these hold their value pretty good, so you might be able to get out of a 250, although maybe now the 250s are a little bit softer, I don't know. So let me know. So there you go, a little bit of a long-term update after 1,000 kilometers around Pattaya. I still like the bike, and you know, even for that little glitch, anytime you modify something with aftermarket accessories, you could have it could have an adverse reaction to something else in the bike. I'm used to that. Not the first time it's happened, won't be the last. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode off right here. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.